Today we have a whole new atmosphere right here where we're working on how to build your business, and from the way I see it, I'm really am looking at the idea on how people, are able to be successful in your life. It really starts out about not what you want to do and how much money you want to make. It's different. It's more like, what do you know that's of value, and then how can you immediately provide that value to something. I'll give you an example. Some women these days, they have an opportunity to become very popular on social media, especially like on Instagram, because they look attractive to all types of different people. So that means that there isn't a one way of looking at things, and they also know how to influence other people. They've been doing that for a while. Women, men, the men that would usually be considered influencing would be considered like players. Men that would just go from one girl to the next girl, to the next girl, to the next girl, hoping that they can probably get, not one, two, or three, all of them. And they usually don't worry about getting turned down either. So the same thing with women. Women will go ahead and, the women won't go ahead and worry too much about being turned down, but they usually sit back and they will just, create an atmosphere that brings all the attention towards them. They can move through the social economic ladder very easily. And they have a lot of people who wants to, be like them, who men want to be with them, and they usually have it very, easy, when it comes down to the followers. The thing about it is that if you look at that particular situation, you look at, like, the player mentality, where the guys usually will use like money and size or beauty to get the attention of the other. And the idea is, this is actually how the social platform is actually going to be working. You have to understand, they provide value without even trying. And some people, find that as a gift. I find that sometimes it's a curse, because you'll go through life being able to influence people without even working at it. And then when you actually have to work at it, you can't. Usually people like that tend to have a very difficult time talking to themselves. And this is kind of like why it's really important to make sure that the people that are around you are people that have been tried, that have been been broken, and they've healed and they've become back up. I mean, for me, I would say that, I could have came from being like broken. As you can see, I'm much older than I look. I won't really say it on this video, but if you follow some of my videos, you would basically know how old I am. But when I was much younger, I always looked 10 years younger than I always looked. So being graduating from high school, I still looked like I was in junior high school. I still looked like I was in college. Probably still look like I'm in college. And a lot of the women would basically ignore me to, either they'll treat me like as a friend, or you would try to, find something to talk to about, except for like being like in a relationship. It wasn't until maybe middle of like my college life that I actually was able to have like a steady relationship, and was able to kind of go out and talk to different women, from not just from the school, but on the street, cold, and that's when I started noticing that I had to realize what I actually bring to the table, and I noticed that I was able to bring to the table I don't know how to basically say it, like an essence of safety, meaning that they didn't really have to worry too much about me doing any harm. I was kind of a funny guy, and it was specific girls that I actually knew liked me. Mainly girls who were not used to not weren't always interested in me, or like they didn't really have an idea of who I was, and the anticipation, or the idea, or the, I forget what they call it, the feeling of mystery of who you were and where you come from. Especially when I started speaking, Japanese, and was able to, move around and speak to people, and you would, even before I even went to Japan, like I noticed that this is what was actually exciting to me. It became almost like entertaining, and this is something that you have to do when you are looking to start your business. You have to find out what you do that's entertaining. If you take a minute right now and check out TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, people are finding ways to getting people's attention. And yes, we may not like the fact that we have to fight for attention right now, and that it's not fun, it's not fair, or whatever the case may be. But this is it. This is how our world is going to be. And if you don't know how to do that online, you're going to have a hard time moving from one place to another. Meaning that we don't know what is going to get hit. Right now, the coronavirus is actually on a rampage, in the media, being so, problematic for everybody, that people are like staying home. They're not working. They're not actually going to an event. There's also events that the Olympics is being threatened to be canceled. Companies like McDonald's in like China is like going ahead and monitoring the temperatures of the delivery people before they leave the delivery, and then after, to make sure that they're not sick. And I don't want to be really more like dark about this, but it's actually kind of exciting, only because of the fact that as human beings, we always find ways to make things work. And it's fascinating to see how quickly we went from January to February, the end of February now, and how the world's changing from all of this. So going into that, you might have to start working online. You maybe, or you might have to you might be more worried on focusing on where you might be in the next couple of months if you're like working in another country. So when I bring it up to, like, we have to learn how to always rebuild our skills. We can't just, if you went to school and you have like a degree in something, yeah, you're probably set at always being able to get paid as whatever you did, but it may change, as in, the amount of people that might come to you might change. You might find out that you're going to be outworked by some sort of social media platform now, where other people who have your same skills are online now, being a doctor and interviewing their patients, or talking about the coronavirus now in a much more entertaining platform, because they just know how to do it. Like, this is what we have to understand. Like, a lot of people don't know on how to go about it, and they just see a lot like it's a chick atmosphere, or girls just go in it and make faces and whatnot, but it's not. This is how it's going to be. And me, if you want to be like me, you would want to just start playing with the waters, figuring out what everybody's doing and how things are being done. Because being able to make money and earn a living, meaning we're not talking about millions of dollars, we talk about earn money that the average person that lives in a certain country can live. You can definitely go ahead and enjoy your life by providing some sort of value to society somehow. There are people right now who are just going around just videotaping how the world looks, at the current time. They just interviewing, like, this is this part, this is area B, this is area C, to give people an opportunity to know who they are and where they live and what they're doing. And a lot of people don't want to really go about doing those things. You don't have to, but you just have to be creative. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for listening to this show. And I'll see you guys in the next video.